Welcome to Review Rewind, the podcast where a couple with varying backgrounds and tastes watch beloved movies and answer the question, was it good? I'm Mike.
And I'm Krista.
And today we're talking about...
Back to the Future.
Ba, 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 ba. No, this one has a good... Bum, 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 bum,
Oh, I
bum,
couldn't
bum.
think of it for a minute.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I promise you I'm going to throw Jurassic Park into every single thing.
Yeah, I don't doubt you.
Rest of our lives.
This movie is rated PG, which I think it was before PG-13 was a thing, because it should be PG-13.
I would concur.
It is a comedy science fiction adventure directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, released July 3rd, 1985. Budget of $19 million. On opening weekend in the U.S. and Canada, it made a little over $11 million. Grossing in the U.S. and Canada, it made $212 million. And worldwide, it made $383 million. So it made its budget back and then some. It was a financial success. It was distributed by Universal Pictures, which Krista and I, fun fact, love Universal Studios. And we really like the Backlot tour.
Yes.
Because, one, they have a Fast and Furious ride within that tour.
Holla.
And two, we like the...
It's just a fun, nice ride you get to sit on, and you never know what you're going to see.
We did see the guy from Will and Grace. They were
someone else too.
They were filming the renewed thing, or not renewed. I don't know what I'm saying, but the reboot, and he was pulling something out of his trunk, which sounds out of his car. Yeah, who else did we see?
I don't remember now, but I do know we saw someone else.
Yeah, probably. Real big star.
Insert star name here.
And this picture stars Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, and Crispin Glover, who is your favorite bad guy.
Good old Crispin. He's in I guess it would be the second OG, not the OG.
The 90s. You could say the 90s.
Charlie's Angels, which is a classic. I love Charlie. Fun fact, when I was really stressed while we were wedding planning, I would just go put either one of the Charlie's Angels movies on and watch it, and it would feel better. And he plays the Thin Man.
And he also plays the Thin Man in this movie. So now we're going to get into plot. We'll get there one day. I don't know. I know this is a rundown gag, but I got nothing. We're going to keep doing it. So right. Chris is going to go ahead and read the plot that I found on IMDb.
All right. The plot of this movie. In this 1980s sci-fi classic, small-town California teen Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox, is thrown back into the 50s when an experiment by his eccentric scientist friend Doc Brown, Christopher Lloyd, goes awry. Traveling through time in a modified DeLorean car, Marty encounters young versions of his parents, Crispin Glover, Leah Thompson, and must make sure that they fall in love or else he'll cease to exist. Even more dauntingly, Marty has to return to his own time and save the life of Doc Brown.
Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, bum. You know what? We should do a Muppet movie next time. Sorry, I did that in my voice. Anyway, so what'd you think of the plot? The plot synopsis. Does that kind of... Does that fit? Does that feel good?
I think so. It's vague enough to catch your interest, but also accurately summarizes the main points of the movie.
And I think it gets all the characters in, except for Biff. Fun fact. about 10 or 15 years ago, after I watched this movie for the first time, I started saying that when someone made a mistake, they would biff it.
They biffed it.
And people would always look at me weird. And then...
That's probably just you. Burn.
And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm the only one. And then I think I saw it on the internet. It was like, it's a common thing. But I still haven't really heard anyone use it outside of me.
Biff is a weird word.
But it's perfect. Like even if you didn't watch this movie, if someone said, "Wow, you really biffed that,"
I don't know. It doesn't roll naturally off the tongue. So, what did you think of the movie overall?
I love it. I have my problems with it, but I love the movie. It hit a lot of great comedy notes. There's a bit of slapstick. There's weird science-y comedy. There's classic funny comedy. There's this
There's lots of comedy.
There's lots of tension within the scope of Marty and his mom, and
yeah, that's pretty funny.
The funny thing is, we're supposed to feel like Crispin Glover is like the weird guy as the young one, but really, like, this little dude just comes and starts following you, and it's just like, hey, you're George McFly. And it's like, why do you know who I am? Like, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so his, like, you, like, leave me alone is the most reasonable thing in the entire movie. There's so much of the movie where it's like, come on. But that one part, now watching it again, it's just like, wow, he was really the most normal reaction possible out of a character was George McFly responding to Marty's like weird attachment. What'd you think?
I enjoyed this movie. It brings back a little bit of nostalgia in the fact that I have like a really core memory of my mom loves this movie. Shout out to my mom if you listen to our podcast. I don't know if you do, but shout out. Anyway, so my mom would often have this playing like in the background while she was like folding laundry or whatever. And so I just remember as like a high schooler, sometimes I'd like go sitting there with her, and like it would usually for some reason like it'd be around lunchtime or whatever, but I always remember like eating a tuna sandwich while watching this movie. Like that was like a recurring event throughout my high school years, is that I would occasionally have a tuna sandwich.
That's oddly understandable and oddly disgusting all at the same time.
But it's like a weird like I remember it very specifically. And so it like brings back this sense of like nostalgia, and that I'm like, oh, I can remember that from my childhood. Like that's cool. But aside from that, I think it was a good movie. I remember at first watching it and being as like in high school being like, oh, what is this old movie? And then I was like, it's funny.
And you say that, and it's so funny to think, because this came out in 1985, so it was filmed 84. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long it would have taken a movie back then to accomplish what it did. I would assume a while, so maybe 83. Mm. And it's just so funny to look back at that and see some of the things that now that we're in 2022, and while we don't have time machines, we do have some of the technology that the DeLorean had in it. And I made a point of it, which was Doc Brown says that it's all electrical except for the flux capacitor. And yet the engine was the loudest thing in the world. Or that it stalled. And there were these other little things. And it's like, we have electric cars. They don't do those things. Very funny that was just kind of...
Yeah.
They were guessing, so nothing against them.
I still really appreciate a hover car.
Hoverboard.
But
or a car.
Well, the car at the end.
It did fly.
Hovered.
Spoilers. What did you like best about the movie?
Ooh, I'm not gonna say it in like an eloquent way, but I liked. It was funny. It was fun to see like who their parents and everyone was in the 80s, like so in the present for the movie, and then go back and like see how his mom was actually like a caged flirt. And I mean his dad was always awkward, but just to kind of see like, oh, Biff had always, you know beaten on his dad, or like see the um Mayor Goldie, the guy who was like a busboy and then he became mayor, like that. I don't know. It was charming. Um,
I like that too, and I think for the first time I noticed the character development or the character parallels, which the dialogue was trying to show. So, like, Marty gets at gets ooh.
Ugh.
Marty gets asked by his girlfriend about, oh, does your mom know about this weekend? And he's like, no, she'd kill me. She would say like, oh, we don't do those kind of things. And then she calls the house, and his sister tells him, and his mom's like, oh,
that girl.
Girls didn't make the call houses and make the essentially like they didn't make the move on the boys.
Yeah.
And the thing about George, but I thought I don't know if it was supposed to be noticed as much as it did, but maybe 2022 eyes of call me woke, whatever, but just how crappy a person Biff was.
Yeah.
Like, it was 1955, and out of the gate, when we're introduced to young Biff, he calls George Irish garbage or something like that. And then his buddies say like a racist slur about the band members later in the movies. And so it's like they're clearly racist.
Yeah.
Like, they're super racist. It's 1955. Everyone was racist, but they made a point of using these little lines to show like, hey, these guys are racist.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was really interesting that we were introduced to old Biff, who was a jerk, but it was like he is an all-around terrible person.
Yeah.
From his youth to now.
Yeah.
And those parallels were really neat to see.
And I liked how in the end, spoilers, but like you see how like everyone was sort of changed for the better. Like Marty's parents were.
Or were they?
Well, yeah, or were they? But like.
No, because so Chris and I are watching Batman Brave and the Bold with our daughter, and we were actually
Ray is watching it, and we are joining her.
Yeah. And we just watched an episode where they were talking about the multiverse and the different universes and stuff. So the reason I brought that up, this is going to be long-winded.
Nerd.
But did Marty actually go back to his time? Or are the things that we learned in Marvel and Loki?
Oh, just stop right now.
So like all of those people are new.
I'm just going to shut it down. What did you like least about the movie, and why?
That is a good question. Is there something that stands out to you?
I don't think so. I can't I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm tired or or what, but like there's nothing glaring that stands out for me being like, oh, this, the movie is great except for this part. Like in general, like overarching, it all felt like it checked all the boxes, is funny. And I think maybe if I had any qualm, the scene where they're trying to get Marty back to his time, there were some things where I was like, wait, like how did he get down from the roof, and how did he hook it back up, and that all happened really fast, and was it supposed to? And then I think you were even saying like, oh wow, like that part happened really fast. Yeah. But that's probably more being nitpicky than like a really big critique.
I don't know if I actually said what I liked about the movie per se. I think I wanted to say before I move on that I had a really deeper appreciation for Christopher Lloyd. Like, he's really slapstick in it, and I don't remember him being so slapstick, but like his facial expressions, everything he does is very exaggerated, and I just really enjoyed him. And there were a lot of things that I liked about that connection of like, I spent all of my family's money to do this, and you see him in a garage, and then when you go back in time, you find out that garage used to be part of a big giant property in a mansion that he no longer has. So he spent his entire fortune, ruined his life to make this time machine. And it was just interesting to see how much that character is. I guess the thing that I like the least about it is that they never answer why Doc Brown and Marty are together.
Oh, that's a good point.
And the only reason that I have an issue with it, or that I feel like it brings me down, is there's no clear answer to it. And on the scope of what it at face value, there's no reason for it. He's not a science kid. Is he getting paid? Why is this kid...
Hey, go check on this old man.
Why is this kid hanging out with this old man who has a negative public face? Like, we know the principal's a jerk, but he's like, you're hanging out with that guy. He's ruined his life, blah, 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 blah. The parents never say anything because,
Who knows if they know? Well, did you ever, I wonder... Doc probably inserted himself into Marty's life because of the events of...
I'm sorry, I did the theme because I think you're spot on. Like,
how rude of you to interrupt me with a song.
But that's
Michael.
a good thought, though. He inserted himself, but then what was the first catalyst?
I don't know. And then it gets too timey-wimey, and I'm not.
But there is a first point. The loop has an entrance point. It isn't a circle. So there had to have been something, and I'm just curious what that is. And the fact that I don't know, it bugs me because Doc Brown is weird, and so this 17-year-old kid is spending all his extra time working with Doc Brown.
Just Doc Brown. That was Tristan. Shout out to Tristan.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Tristan. Hi, Tristan.
Doc Brown.
We love you, Tristan. That's all. But I think that little hole and everything. And then, of course, same problem with Forrest Gump. There were a few things that were occurring where it's like, you could have picked something fake because it makes no sense that Chuck Berry's brother or cousin plays over a 1950s phone the song on a phone that probably sounded like garbage, and then suddenly he had Johnny Be Good out of that.
Ooh,
I know it's a joke, but it's like it never would have happened. Never, ever would have happened. It would have just been Chuck Berry going, I've spent 5 years trying to write that song.
Go, Johnny, go, go, go.
Anyway.
So what did you like least? Or no, that you answered that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is my favorite character? And by my favorite character, I mean your favorite character. Who's your favorite character?
I feel like you're gonna say Doc Brown.
No,
I think I probably would have said Marty up until last night. I think for you, like you, I was able to see Doc Brown's character a little bit more and be like, he's really funny. Like, this is a funny actor. Like, this is a funny, interesting character, and I really like him. So I think he's my favorite.
I actually think Leah Thompson kind of won the movie over for me because she nails the, prude mother and then the very curious teenager, and she just does really well in all the parts. And I never realized how funny she was in this movie. Like, I never connected it to how much she carried a lot of aspects of the movie because she is genuinely very funny and she is acting well in the context of everything, in the craziness. So she does the 1950s really well. She does the 1980s really well. She does the promiscuous kid, but also
promiscuous boy.
It's funny because she's promiscuous and doing all this stuff, but clearly her mom is very strict and very stern, and she still has that like, oh no, it's my mom. And I just thought she was really funny. I liked her a lot.
Nice. What was something you didn't understand about the movie?
So much. There's so many things that are holes and stuff.
Timey-wimey space stuff.
Yeah. Tons. I think this movie holds up as a comedy and in like an adventure movie. The timing is great. The cinematography is really fun. And even some of the CGI, like it's clearly dated, but it works. I don't think it holds up as far as the science fiction aspect. There are too many plot holes that make the and maybe it's because we're so inundated with science fiction and we're so exposed to, one of the highest grossing movies of all time, one of the most seen movies of all time, is circled around time travel in the Avengers Endgame and all that stuff. And they go to extreme lengths to explain everything. And so you have a movie that tried to blow right by it.
It's like, it's fine.
And I think that kind of hurts it, but not in a bad way. Not in a, it makes this movie bad, but in a, it's 2022 and this doesn't make sense. But the movie's still really fun.
Nice.
Anything for you?
No, except I just thought of a funny part to say, it's time for the review, rewind. And then you just would say that backwards to like transition. And so that's what I was just bobbing my head. It's time for the review, rewind.
Review, rewind. It's time for.
The more you say that, like review, rewind.
You said it right.
Okay, I said the harder it is to say.
Sure,
so
I'll take that.
I just lost that train of thought into developing a song for us, so I apologize.
So Krista just had a stroke. And so we're going to go into our section of review, rewind.
Review, rewind.
We already went through that. We don't need to do that again. And this is the section where we go back in time and read a good review and a negative review. And we kind of find our own review in between, maybe, and might agree. So Chris is going to go ahead and read the positive review, and I'm going to read the negative review.
So the Boston Globe, Boston Globe gave it a 100. The best mainstream film since E.T. How dare you laugh at me,
Sorry,
Michael?
no, the datedness of it.
The best mainstream film since E.T. is an uplifting reminder that Hollywood can still produce truly great entertainment. The plot is so exquisitely developed that divulging anything beyond the basic outline might diminish the joyous surprises that await an audience thirsting for originality in a reactionary medium. Published on page 57, July 3rd, 1985.
What a dweeb.
Nerd.
All right. And the negative review is in the Los Angeles Times.
Straight out of LA.
Los Angeles. LA.
We love LA.
It's big, cartoonish, and empty, with an interesting premise that is underdeveloped and overproduced. I'm going to go ahead and disagree.
They didn't use an Oxford comma here. And it stresses me out a little bit, but that's fine.
I think it's technically right, though.
I believe in the Oxford Oxford comma.
I understand that you do, but it is both underdeveloped and overproduced.
And I didn't know what the Oxford comma was until recently.
I believe in it so much
I had no idea what
that
it
I
was.
converted recently to Oxford comma.
No, I've always been an Oxford comma enthusiast, but I didn't know it was called an Oxford comma.
You would use the Oxford comma on like Christmas and Easter, but then you wouldn't use it the rest of the year.
No, I didn't know. I had heard the name Oxford comma, and I just was like, I think there's a song by the Vampire Weekend called that, and that's literally the extent of my knowledge. Did I get the band right? If I did, shout out to myself for Michael and his Foley work. Anyway, so yeah, that was a bad review.
Vampire Weekend, good job.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think the Boston Globe one has. Did you hear me? I said with the accent that just escaped my mouth.
I was laughing at your.
Oh no, I said the Boston Globe, but I
Globe.
tried to say it really fast. So the Boston, there it is again. Boston Globe.
Boston,
the Boston Globe. The best mainstream film since E.T. Maybe that's true. I don't know what was happening in '85.
I mean, I think if you take this movie and you look at it from the scope of like the mid '80s to like mid '90s of like, you know, it probably was really good for that time.
Because I would argue it. I don't know if I can argue this because it's been a while since I've watched E.T. But I think this is better than E.T. And not in a combative way, but I think E.T. is supposed to be like a family, but it is supposed to be funny and like cute and all of that.
I've only seen E.T. once, and I was slightly young.
This is our weird way of going, oh, we have to watch E.T. and review it. I don't really want to, but we might get hate for that. Anyway, I think it's better than E.T. And I think...
You interrupted my thought. I was going to say how I just remember the tent scene in E.T. and it really freaked me out when I did see it. I don't know why.
There's a great theory about E.T., and if we do review it, we're going to talk about it because I think it's a crazy theory, but I actually think there's validity to it. Anyway, you know, I'm thinking of 80s movies, and I think this movie is a step above most of them. And I mean that in a way of the timing, the pacing, the jokes, and even the concept feel kind of past their time. It doesn't feel like an 80s movie sometimes.
Yeah, it's one of those, I feel like I could almost see it as like it was a movie that someone made about the 80s.
Right. Yeah, that's a great it has some modernity to it as though it was a movie based in the 80s, but not necessarily a movie made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because even though it was released in the mid 80s, it was made, you know, early 80s. And so it was in the heart of the 80s, and yet it doesn't feel like the rest of the 80s movies that I've seen. And I'm even thinking of classics like Ghostbusters and
Who you gonna call? I have seen
Mel
that
Brooks
one.
movies and different things that were made in the 80s, and this one feels different. And maybe it's the sci-fi aspect, but even with the sci-fi aspect, it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Star Wars, we'll have to watch one eventually. It feels kind of dated, I think. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad.
Yeah.
But it has a feeling to it of its time.
Mm-hmm.
This one feels like it kind of escapes that a little bit. Not always.
Maybe because this one in itself is a throwback because, you know, a good portion of the movie is spent in the 50s. So it itself is an 80 movies throwing it back to the 50s.
You ready to feel old?
Yeah. No.
If we did Back to the Future now,
Yeah.
what was that?
Was it that?
Probably.
You guys, there is a ghoul in our house right now.
I'm going to keep this in. This is
Please
entertaining. I thought it was the door, but the door's locked, so.
Oh God, that's even scarier.
No, it's not.
If no one hears from us in a few days, the ghoul has eaten us.
Yeah. now we're just like looking at the windows like, oh my gosh.
That was me, everyone, if you heard that.
Are you ready to feel old? If we did Back to the Future now, it would be 1992 is the time that they go back to.
That's crazy.
And I'm just thinking of 1992 and all the things that we had then.
You remember
and
so
how
much.
What's funny is outside of the cars and a little bit of the technology, maybe some of the verbiage. Yeah, I guess it would feel different. Like a 17-year-old went back to 1992, there would be that shock.
I would love to just watch that happen. That would be funny.
I'm a high school teacher, and yes, I can attest. That would be very entertaining.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Anyway.
My emails are popping right now.
A to F, what do you give it?
I would give it a B+. Just
B+, okay.
I mean, like, it's not amazing, but it's great. It's good.
I think I'd give it an A-.
I think it deserves. I could be persuaded to
I think
an
it deserves an A simply because if we're thinking about the time, it exceeds all expectations of the time. It still holds up comedy-wise, story-wise, everything. The graphics, as bad as they are, don't necessarily take you away from the movie. Mm-hmm. They really used a lot of practical effects to kind of battle that.
Yeah.
So that aside, it's really funny. It's a great story. It's the only story I know that everyone gets so invested in this kid who's trying not to make out with his mom.
Oh my gosh.
But, like, joking aside, that is such a weird concept, and yet they wrote it in such a weird way that you get sucked into it. Like, you're really into it. So I give it an A-. I think it's great. Do not watch it with your kids. Yeah. It is sneaky. There are a lot of curse words. I got in trouble once in college for quoting it on Facebook and having someone get mad at me for using the language. So don't use it. Don't watch it with kids around. Teenagers are fine, but Ray isn't going to watch this for a while.
No. And who knows what we actually will watch next, because
we're up in the air. We are going to do the West Side Story thing. We're just going to wait until we have a little more time because the one of the actresses got Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, yeah, Ariana DeBose.
Yeah,
who is also in Hamilton.
She
was the bullet.
She was the bullet. Yeah,
I know facts. So just, stay tuned, because who knows what will happen next week. Although it has made evident, I think I want to do Charlie's Angels.
We might be murdered. Who knows?
By the ghoul in our house. Please.
Charlie's Angels? Are we really?
I've been getting requests for you to watch a chick flick.
Oh.
And not that
and
Charlie's Angels.
Are you getting requests? Are you like signing on to another Instagram and then just messaging yourself?
Okay, A, rude, and B, Charlie's Angels isn't necessarily like a super chick flick. I want to make you watch like a sappy rom-com, or I think it would be hilarious just because I'm seeing it all over TikTok. You want me to stop talking?
No.
Oh, I thought Mike was going to get...
I'm just trying not to breathe into the mic because I'm a nasally freak, so I'm just like...
Would be if I made you watch Twilight, because I've seen people all over TikTok doing it, and I just think it'd be so funny. That would be like a live...
That would kill me.
Like a live action.
Because we've watched... You rewatched them recently.
I did, yes.
And I would walk in and I get sucked into a movie because it's something on the screen. That happens all the time, but there would be something so quickly that would happen where I'm like, no way. That is so dumb. And then I would walk away.
So I'm adding that into, maybe that one we'll do rather than a review rewind, we'll just watch it and then I'll record you having reactions to it.
I want to
Like all the
to see if we could live stream while watching a movie. I feel like copyright might happen, but I feel like we could do a live stream and people can join us as we watch.
That'd be fun.
The garbage that is Twilight.
That'd be
that
hilarious.
almost destroyed Robert Pattinson's career.
Yes.
And also made people think that Kristen Stewart was a bad actress when she's actually phenomenal.
Yeah.
We got on a weird tangent, but also related to Charlie's Angels. So I will go ahead and do this for you. We are going to watch the 90s Charlie's Angels movie.
Which one? Both of them or just
No,
one?
just the first one. Full Throttle is not that doesn't count.
It counts to me, but
that's fine. But I mean, in the scope of this process, no. Okay. We will watch the original one because I had a huge crush on Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu as a child. And
I have a huge crush on Drew Barrymore too. So it's okay.
And yeah, I still do. Sure.
No, I said I do.
No, I know, but I'm saying
we all love.
I
agree
love
with
Drew
you. Barrymore.
So we would leave each other to go with Drew Barrymore, but together. Can we make that work?
Let's not get on that train.
Okay.
It's not late, but it's late for us because we're parental. So just
until next time.
I'm Krista.
I'm Mike, and
you've been reviewed, rewinded.
Be kind. Review the.
Be kind. Rewind.
2 thumbs down. No, 2 thumbs up. We're good. 2 thumbs up. Oh, don't forget to review our podcast and subscribe and like us. And we have Instagram and Twitter. And you could just look up Review Rewind and it'll probably be something else, but we have a nice little yellow thing. So look for the yellow sticker.
If someone gives us a review, I will make them chocolate chip cookies.
She will. That's a challenge. Make a good review. And we will send you good chocolate chip cookies. If you do a bad review, we will send you bad chocolate chip cookies. Yeah. But you won't know how bad or in what way. Maybe it's too much salt. Maybe there's no chocolate. Maybe
that would suck if you think you're getting a chocolate chip cookie and there's like one chocolate chip in it.
All right. Until next time, Krista, Mike, bye.